Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to be talking about why you need to stop doing the bare minimum and start learning how to educate yourself and truly grow as a person. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. But with that said, when it comes to doing the bare minimum, this is something that a lot of people struggle with, including myself, especially when I was in my middle school and high school days. Because when those times were happening, I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was doing the wrong things. I was skipping class. I wasn't paying attention. I was getting in trouble. I didn't have dreams. I didn't have goals. And I was basically just setting up myself for failure, and I was okay with not doing anything. I was okay with that bare minimum. I was okay with just not striving for goals or not having to get out of bed and work long hour shifts or having to think about what the next podcast or think about a business or think about sports. I didn't care because at that time, I was in that bare minimum mindset. In class, I was only going to do homework or I was only going to show up when it was really important. I would rather be out with friends. With sports, I didn't want to go to the practices, but I wanted to play the games. That's the bare minimum effort we're talking about. Because when you have that bare minimum effort, it kills your growth. It stumps everything because you're now not growing. You're now not putting yourself out there because you're not giving it any effort. So because of that, I then started to go and fail my classes. I started to do bad in sports because I wasn't practicing, because I wasn't taking it seriously. I was starting to lose my shape. I was starting to lose stamina. Like I said, I was failing those classes. I wasn't turning in work. I wasn't doing homework. I was getting in trouble with the principal. I was getting in trouble outside of school because I was okay with not putting in any effort. Because in my mindset, I was like, you know what? This can be my life for the rest of the day. I will go sit in a stairwell for 12 hours and do absolutely nothing, and that's okay. That's the mindset I had. That is really bad if you're trapped in that because, like we said, you cannot grow. When you do the bare minimum, you do not put forth any effort. Doesn't matter if it's work, hobbies, dreams, school, sports. If you do not put that effort in, you will not see any progress. You will not see any growth. So having that bare minimum mindset is going to absolutely hinder that growth overall because you are not applying yourself. You're not staying true to the work that needs to be done, or you're not getting off your ass and making sure that you get done what you're supposed to. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This went on for a very long time. I mean, years I was stuck in this mindset until reality hit me and something came in my life to where I had no choice, to where I literally had to sit down with myself and say, Cole, you either make this decision, you get out of that mindset and you start trying, or you are going to literally be like this for the rest of your 20s. You might not make it to your 30s. You might go and sit in a cell because of the decisions I was making. So I went and I changed my mindset. I started to really focus on school. I started to study. I started to take my tests seriously. And then junior and senior year, I passed with straight A's. The first time in my life I have ever passed with straight A's in school. I stopped hanging out with certain friends. I stopped going to certain areas. I stopped hanging out late, doing certain things because I was tired of not growing. I was tired and I was realizing that if I didn't change my life, sitting in the stairwell shooting dice, yes, that might be fun, but doing that for 12 hours every single day, that's what I was doing. I was doing the most random stuff that was getting me nowhere in life. I wasn't applying myself. I wasn't going for the dreams. I wasn't going for the goals. At that time, I didn't even have an idea of this business until I changed my mindset and realized that I had to take control. So, if you are struggling like I was, then this is your sign to start to take control and change your mindset. You might not see it now because you're in that position, because you're with those friends, because you're doing those certain things. And yes, it might be fun to you. Yes, it might seem like, oh, yeah, I like the thrill. I like to do bad stuff because I was that same person. But understand that it's not getting you anywhere. You're not growing as a person, and in 20 and 30 years, what are you actually going to do with your life? Are you just going to keep sitting on the stairwell doing the same stuff, trying to get a couple $100 a day? Or are you actually going to strive for your dreams? Go to school and try to be a teacher, try to be a lawyer, try to be a nurse, try to be the next big streamer. It is your basically decision to either you can get up and change that mindset, or you can stay in this just past, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I'm going to do the bare minimum because that's what everybody else around me is doing. So you really need to make that decision and change your damn life. So take this as a sign. Start getting up, start motivating yourself. Let go of those past friends, learn from those past situations, start educating yourself, read, learn. I mean, I tell you this all the time. The device you are watching me on can teach you everything. It can change your life. It can teach you how to be a streamer, how to game, how to build a business, how to run Photoshop, how to do merchandising, how to sell products online. I mean, you can make $1 billion business from the screen you're watching me on. You just have to change your mindset and actually go and apply yourself. So please, if you want that change, don't feel like it can't happen. Don't sell yourself short and stop doing the bare minimum in your life. You can do whatever you want in this world. You just have to apply yourself. You have to educate yourself. You need to learn discipline. Laziness is the biggest killer to all success. If you are lazy and you have that I can't mindset, you have the mindset to where, you know what, I'm going to do the bare minimum just to get by, you will not be successful. If you want to be successful, you want to be like the people you see online, you need to apply yourself and go make it happen. Stop doing the same old shit. Stop waking up, go play video games, go outside, party, go to sleep. No, wake up, go to work, work out, do some more work, go for your hobbies. Yes, take time for yourself. You can have fun. You can go out. You can be with friends, but don't live by that. Don't just party. Don't just be with friends. Do something for yourself. Get out of this mindset because it will not help you grow. Stop letting other people basically take control of your life. Because, like we said last episode, it doesn't matter if you donate $1 million to a charity or not. Somebody is always going to have something bad to say about you. Somebody is always going to hate you. Somebody's always going to envy you. So just do what's best for you. Don't follow society. Don't follow everybody else's footsteps, and start paving your own path. That's the biggest thing I have learned as a person, because I used to be a follower. I used to be the person that walked in the room and did what everybody else did. But then when I changed my mindset, I then became a leader, and now people follow me. Change that mindset. Start being that leader. Stop doing the bare minimum and take control of your life, because you can do anything. You just have to apply yourself. But with that said, today's quote is by J.J. Watt. He once said, "If you do the bare minimum, expect bare minimum results. You want to be great, work to be great. Nothing just happens." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcasts.